I'm back. I wasn't going to do this video at all, but I decided, you know what, I need to because there's so many new readers on YouTube that these people who comment just destroy them, even on TikTok, wherever else, because people are so tied into the quote unquote keyword. And the problem is they know the history. Who create the keyword, especially in the minors on the Rider Waite Smith deck, right? Because even the two people who were behind it had different meanings and different contexts for the card. Majors were not talking, we're talking about minors. So I did a reading with using Marseille. And of course, I think it was an American responded and was just going off that I'm stupid. It doesn't mean that. I'm babbling, blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. You have to have a really thick skin. But I thought I had to share this. I'm not going to mention who it was. I deleted them. I hid them from the channel because I'm not even going to deal with that kind of crap. I don't want the negativity to spawn, right? I could totally, well, I could go off on the person and explain what it means, but what's the point? I got to share it with you guys. So it was all around the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, now in the Rider Waite, this does have kind of a meaning. When you look at the picture, this is a problem too, right? It's a picture. When you look at the picture, what do you see? You see a person looking at Seven Pentacles, and it's on top of a mound of things he is wondering, should he harvest it or not? He's contemplating, did I do enough? Because seven's about what? Sevens are also around assessment. And this is a problem too. So many people don't realize that when you look at the card, you also look at the number seven, assessing something, right? Understanding, do I need to do more? How I did enough? Now, the problem you also run into with the modern decks is that every card has a different meaning depending on the artist's rendition of it, right? But with this card, the person leaning on his tool, looking down and thinking deeply, have I actually done enough? And you also can analyze the colors, and the gray is like he's using his wisdom to really think through everything. The brown is earthy. The green is also earthy, right? So I do enough of the earthly plane of pentacles about finances or about things that are manifested, health, finances, money, etc., etc., etc. That's a seven. I'm not going to go any further than that. But then in the reading I did, it was a Seven of Pentacles this way. That has nothing to do with assessing. And this is the problem. When people look at the Marseille, they go, oh, that's about, did I do enough? No, it has nothing to do with that. You look at the pattern, you look at the structure of the card. Okay, so there's many ways to read this card. Now, one book I read called Read Like the Devil is all about the bigger the number, the heavier it becomes. So it becomes more weighing on you. That's one way of reading it. So the Seven of Pentacles shows up, you're like, oh man, things get more heavy. I'm feeling a little bit more stress about it, right? It's a little more difficult. It's financial. I'm having a little bit of struggle. It's getting worse. But here I look at it a little differently to look at the numbers and the pattern. What do you see? Don't give me the keyword. What do you see in this card? Well, you see four pentacles on top. So something that's stable is pivoting, teeter-tottering on what? On three coins, three below it. Three has also another meaning, but I'm not going to go into that. But you notice how it has like a triangle, right? Triangle, okay. Look into that. And this is pivoting on that. So if this moves, the stability collapses. So it's being held up by this one coin. And when you think about that, you're looking like, well, the options, the decisions I made, will that bring in the stability that I need? That's how I read the Marseille. And a lot of other people read it the exact same way, off of structure and form, not off a meaning in a card. Because if you even grab a little booklet, right? Let me see if I can find it here. So I opened this deck up real quick just to kind of pull out the cards. And do I have it? Yeah, here we go. The problem too is that these little booklets don't even use the traditional Marseille meanings. They use the Rider Waite meanings, unfortunately. Most of them do, at least. This one I'm not too sure about. Let me see if I can find the Seven of denier in here, or Seven of coins. Okay, so here, we'll look at the element, and right there you can see that, right? What does it tell you that the element means? The pentacles. See that? Go ahead and pause it if you want, or screenshot that. And what it was saying is that it means earth suit, right? Economic, material activity of the physical world. Things are manifested. That's what Pentacles is all about. But then the seven, here it says, imagination, creativity, fantasy, searching for utopia. Seven. So by what they told me, they're wrong because it doesn't go with the guidebook, right? That's my point. Throw these things away. They're crap. And instead, honestly, what do you see? Look at what you see in the picture. If it was this way, it means that you have a solid foundation that's basically teeter-tottering on a decision, because the coin here in the middle is protected. It's kind of hidden around in the center from all these vines. And you have two up here, so you can't really get to it. So maybe you have to be creative to get to that coin. But again, I don't look at it like that. I look at like Seven of Pentacles. Again, you need a secondary card to actually see how it reads, but it's like, comes up, yeah, I know I'm solid. I got things good. 3, ignore the coin. You say 3. Okay, well, that means I need to grow more. So I need to now take my foundation and grow it out. How do I do that? How do I do that? Well, I have to pick another card. We'll pick one here, this one, the Hermit, by reflecting. So now there's 2 cards, but the problem now too, again, most people with the Rider Waite would be, oh, that means the Hermit, you have to self-reflect or whatever. Bullshit. What it's saying is, in the Marseille, you look at the card and the pattern. He now is looking away from the cards, right? He's looking into the future. So if you want to grow, you got to think about your future. You got to think and plan how to manifest, how to move forward. So take all your wisdom, all your knowledge you have, and start putting it into action. So you 3 can create. How? By creating a new potential to drive a new decision. So you see, I'm reading this completely different because I'm reading it by what I see. Now, we can use color theory too. Blue, a little bit of emotions work with the Hermit. Red, with the fire and the passion to drive it forward. The white is wisdom, is truth and purity. So with the truth and purity, he can then reflect to help you grow and make your foundation even bigger, right? Now, in the future, we say, well, let's pick another card. I'm just picking these randomly. Let's pick another card here. So in the future, if it grows, then what's next? The sun. That means that maybe, and look how big he is compared to this card here. See, so he overpowers the sun. We're saying like maybe you need a partnership to bring in vitality, to bring in new life, new light into your business so that you can grow and be prosperous. But don't let it take too much control. That's why the sun here is pretty large to the people. So always look to your inner light to know how to control that partnership below. And look too, red and blue is saying balance the emotions. Don't let one overtake the other. And that's kind of the problem I'm seeing with all the people on YouTube and stuff like that doing tarot. They are so blinded by the meanings, they forget even how to read the cards. They don't know how to read the damn cards. All they know how to do is read keywords from books. And that's completely just horseshit, right? Now, let me show you something. Let me grab a book real quick. I'm going to show you something about this card too that most people probably won't know. Give me 1 second. Right back. So, if you don't got this book, go pick it up. It might be reversed, but it is what it is. So, in this book, it kind of goes through and gives you a little bit of the history on the cards, right? So, we're going to go to the 7 of Pentacles. Is this the right book? Hold on. Yeah, it is. Now, here in this book, right, it gives you a different way of looking at the card. So here it's not really about did I do enough? It's more about that things are kind of in contradiction to one another, right? So again, see a different meaning. And here it's talking about that the card is about money, business, and barter. Okay, barter, right? Material plane, we get that. But one reading gives altercation and quarrels, and another innocence and purgation, right? To purge yourself. And then the reverse could also mean anxiety regarding money, which it may be proposed to lend. So then it goes on and continues. The Pentacles as a suit has a tendency to speak of responsibility and the need for accountability if one does not take life serious enough. Well, that's not in the common meanings of today, is it? And then it says the Seven of Pentacles is quite brooding card. It is a card to touch one's guilty conscience. Interesting, right? It urges us to look at what we have created so far, and it pushes us to use a little introspection. We ask ourselves, had we tried much harder, would we have made a better job of it? That's the reflection I'm talking about in the Rider Waite version. And now it feels difficult to go back and change things at stage 7 of the Pentacles journey, because you're already at 7. Remember I said in the Marseille, it's kind of talking about that, how things get heavier and harder as you move towards the 10. It'd be easy to throw in the towel at this stage and waste the effort you put in so far. That one sentence there changes the meaning from did I do enough? It's almost like I want to give up because I can't take it. It's just too painful. It's too much. I've dealt with too much. Now, let me show you something else. Give me a second. Okay, now I'm back. In another book, you read and it says that the coins are mostly about structure, shape, stability, and organization. Things that are heavy, countable, valuable, or tangled. Now, this book has got some controversy. It's called Terre de Marseille by who wrote this book? Carrie Spider, but it's actually a really good book. And she's really quite on the money. Now, people complain, but that's just people, right? Like I was saying, don't let people destroy you. When you look down here at the 7 of coins, here's the thing, right? Again, the 7 of coins, right? Right there. It's right there, the 7 of coins. If you look at that, it has nothing to do, again, with did I do enough, which is the Rider Waite way of looking at it. It's about rising complexity. Because the numbers grow bigger, they get harder, but complexity where? In the earthly realm. Because pentacles are earth. Overstructuring. Remember, you have a foundation and 3, so when you don't do things right, then they can teeter totter and collapse. Because not a 6. 6 is perfectly in harmony with one another. Alienation from value, the one coin in the middle, you can't make decisions to get to it. And then too much control, too little life. The point I'm making here is that every book that you read, and I got 20 more, they all say it means something different, because the issue with these cards is that there's really no right or wrong way to read it. And that's why so many people today also use their intuition. They use, they channel and get the message. So for somebody so arrogant to come and say, excuse my French, but you're a fucking idiot. Okay, fine. Show me where. But they can't. They have to always go back to, well, Rider Waite says this, and 7 only means that. Also, here's another thing too to consider. The 6 of Pentacles, using the Rider Waite Smith cards. Now I read the 6 of Pentacles, totally different in the Marseille because it's a different system. Even now you get the Thoth. Thoth is completely different. Everything you know from Rider Waite, throw it away. Everything you know from the Marseille, throw it away because it's completely different meanings. Also on different uh, current decks that are Rider Waite, the artist will also make a change to the meaning depending on who created the deck. So again, these people are just so arrogant and full of themselves. It just gets under my skin because it hurts people. I have a thick skin. I used to be an artist, a journalist, everything else. So to me, I couldn't really care because you just get used to it, right? People are people, and they're going to be foolish and say things just to be cruel because they got to get the last word, and that's totally cool, right? But as a light worker, your job was to lift people up, not tear them down, right? And if you have to correct somebody, if they didn't ask, don't respond. If they ask, respond. But do it in a very cordial way, right? There's no need to be a jerk. Now, here's the thing, this card. So many people are going to tell you, well, Kev, this card, the 6 of Pentacles, is all about being fair and giving back to people because you're doing well. Well, not necessarily. That's one way of looking at it. But again, what do you see in the card? You have to look at the card. You have to read it for what it shows you, not for what the book says. This also could be somebody's holding balanced scales. Well, I will tell you what's fair. And I will only give you a pittance of what I think you deserve. You see the difference there? That changes this card dramatically. So this person is only going to give them what he thinks they deserve, not a fair share from his balanced scales. Because God forbid you take off too much, his scales start to tilt. So he can't. So it's not really about sharing per se. It also could be for ego. He's giving to show people what they did. How many people do you know that go to church and they say, yeah, I gave a donation. And you want to applaud for that? Should I clap because you gave a donation? Like, seriously, dude? What's wrong with you? Or because they get a tax write-off. So yeah, they're giving the 6 of Pentacles because they get a tax write-off. Not because they're doing it from a heart of love or heart of compassion or understanding. So that 6 can be read so many ways. So yeah, 6 does mean balance, peace, and harmony, but also look really closely. What do you see? Cards reversed because my camera's reversed, but it's a 5 and a 1. So you give them to be contentious, trying to give them what you think they need, new things they need, or you give them a 5 of freedom, freely giving from your heart, not from your ego. And so, see, that is why I'm so against people just doing this keyword stuff because it destroys people, it hurts people. I had people come to me and go, "Hey, Kev, how do I read this?" I'm like, you know what? Just read it, right? Have fun with it. Pick a card, and what do you see? What do you see? Even here, if I want to read numerology, or when I look at the pattern, I'm saying, well, I'm seeing this card. I'm seeing 1. There's something new going on. From a decision that has to be made, because that's a 2, to 3, to growth, to have growth, inner growth, right? or to communicate something. So you're giving something, maybe give them advice how they can become like you, if you're looking at it in a fair way. So again, I would just say if you're in the tarot and you want to learn it, just learn it. Just have fun with it, roll with it. Now, again, too, a lot of people do make things up and go kind of off hinge on it, which, whatever. But just read a lot of books, study it. But at the end of the day, create your own little book of keywords based on what you see. What do you see? When you start doing that, it becomes more clear and a lot more fun. Also, if you're interested, my website, wordwithatwist.com, you can sign up as a member and go through my different material behind the paywall. And the reason why is because I spent a lot of time creating the website. And so I do a lot of stuff for free on YouTube. And I have a lot of free content too, but some stuff, I just take so much time to research it, put it together. I also got to support this because this is, lack of a better term, this is how I earn a living, is through my tarot. And so I'm not begging because I want to be free, right? I want to share freely Six of Pentacles in a very kind, fun way. But again, too, we all got to make a living, right? Anyway, that's all I got. And until next time, if you enjoyed this little chat, let me know. And I want to see you in my next little chit chat. All right. Bye, everybody. See you. Good night.